So here we are back in the scenario as we left it. Sorry for the delay in getting back to this series, but I had to do quite a bit of play testing on the mission. So basically in this episode, we're going to undo a lot of the stuff that we did before and get ready for the scenario proper. So what I've decided to do is to focus on making it just a single player mission rather than potentially a dual mission, either single or multiplayer. So keeping in mind that we're going to make it a single player mission, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the red deployment zone here. Red's never going to need it. So we'll just go ahead and highlight it by left clicking it once and then hitting the delete key, and that'll get rid of it. The other thing I found out in the active playtesting is that the AI drivers are exceptionally poor. And if the units are spaced close together as they are here, they're going to be basically stomping all over each other, getting up in the woods, and essentially just grinding themselves to a halt. And they'll never get up there where they need to be in time. So what we're going to do is spread them out a little bit and give them a little more room, move them up a little bit further north. And you'll see as we do that how we're going to spread them out. I also discovered that, again, because the AI is not particularly sophisticated, we really need more units on the red side to make it a challenge for blue. So we're going to add some more units to this mix too. But the first thing I want to do is basically drag these units around and put them in an order that I want them in. And in the act of doing, I'm going to delete some of these routes. So if we take CO Alpha here, for example, drag him off to the side so we can see the route, click on it, and then hit delete. Okay, that'll get rid of him. So we're going to do that with each of these units. Just pull them off to the side a little bit, highlight their initial route, and delete it. You'll notice we're still leaving that waypoint 1 there as our kickoff point. And we'll continue to do that, but we are going to move that in a moment. Okay, so now we've got all those guys out of the way. What we want to do now is take this long route that we've got from waypoint 1 up to waypoint 4 and basically condense it so that waypoint 1 is more up near where waypoint 2 currently is. So if we take waypoint 1, highlight it, and then drag it, you'll notice that we can pull it around, but it has all these sort of like vertexes. So if we click on this, and we may have to zoom in for you to see this quite a bit. Let's do that. Again, I'm moving the arrow with the map with the arrow keys. You'll notice that there are these little black dots wherever we did a shift click to map it to the road. So when we drag the waypoints, we're also going to have to drag these black dots around. So essentially, I'm just kind of finding where they are at the moment, and then I'll put them back where I want them. All right, so now since I want waypoint 1 right about in here, I need to slide waypoint 2 up a little bit. Waypoint 3 is actually going to stay where it is. So let's take waypoint 2, and again I'm going to pull it off to the side here so I can see where these vertexes are. And basically I'm just going to get it out here where I can look at it. All right, so as you can see here, we've got a series of vertexes down to waypoint 2. And all I'm going to do is reposition those on the road and squeeze them down so they're a little closer to each other. Okay, so maybe I'll do something like this here. And then we'll take this guy and maybe put it like right there. Put this guy out in the middle of the road. And we'll move waypoint 2 maybe up to about there. Okay, so something like that looks pretty good. Then if we take waypoint 1, we can just work our way backwards by grabbing each of these vertexes and putting them on the road. And it doesn't matter how close they are or anything like that. So all I'm going to do is just line them up so that I get waypoint 1 about where I want it, just north of the river. Okay, so something like that. All right, so that gives us our route up to waypoint 4 that we had before. It's just a lot shorter now. And then what we're going to do is take one alpha. We're going to position him just south of the river. And we're going to give him a march route, new route, march, to waypoint 1, just like we did before. The only thing that's doing is now it's moving one alpha all the way from, down here somewhere up here, and give them a little more, the units a little more room to move around. All right, we're then going to take from down here 3 alpha, and we're going to put him right about, we'll say right about here. So give him some space. Now the thing I want to do with 3 alpha, I'm going to give these units a little more oomph. So what we're going to do, we're going to convert him into a CV9040C. And now we're going to go ahead and give him a march route. Again, making sure we stay on the road, which you can do with the shift clicks. And we're going to give him a route up to waypoint 1. Now we're going to take our 2 alpha unit, and we're going to put him right about at the top of this lake here. And we're going to give him a march route. Okay. Now we're going to add a unit here. So we'll say new unit, PCs, and these are going to be Martyr 1A3s. Okay, we'll make him a 5. And we're going to leave him at a size of 3. I don't want to beef Red up too much, but I want to give him a little more horsepower. So we'll leave him at a size of 3. Okay, we're going to throw him sort of right in between these two, something like that. Okay, we'll give him a route up with march route. Now, because he's a new unit, we want to check his formation. We want to make sure he's set to column, and we want to set him to close spacing. All right. And I've decided that we're going to give Red another new unit, and it's going to be a 3-size platoon of 2A4s. And this will be 6 alpha. Okay, 6 alpha is going to start down here below 2 alpha, so we'll put him right about there. Let's set his formation to column and his spacing to close, and then give him a route. And then finally, CO alpha is going to go on the tail end, right down here by this intersection. And we give him his route. I've decided not to give blue any artillery support, so we don't have to worry about whether blue's going to be able to guess where red might be based on his speed and, try to hit him with artillery on the road. So we're just going to take that concern and get rid of it. All right, I think we have enough time maybe to do one small route here. The reason I added these additional leopards here is that I want to protect a little bit some of the other bridge areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to send 6 alpha off to protect one of these bridges right over here. So I don't want blue to be able to use this bridge come down here and then take this road over and basically come in behind the red forces that are going to be over here in objective alpha. So we're going to set up a route from waypoint 3 here for 6 alpha. So let's go ahead and draw the route. And we'll say new route. Again, we want to kind of give them probably a march route for now because we want them to stay in column format. All right. And we want to keep the amount of woods that we have to travel through at the shortest. So generally, probably a straight line would do that. So let's stop out here, come down around there, and then cut straight across to this road, and we use the shift click here to get on the road. All right, then we're going to just continue to do shift click along the road here to follow this path. We'll take the upper bend there out to the main road. Okay, remember as I move the mouse, the cursor will shift with me. And you'll notice this terrain is very wooded, so although I would like to use an assault route here or an engage route, I really can't do that because once they get up in the trees, they're never going to move. So we need to kind of keep them in column till we get down here where we want them to go. And then right click to end the route. And then down here, we're going to click the waypoint, right click, and we're going to give them a defend tactic. All right, we want to make sure that we position the black dot marker here sort of out the other end so that as they come through here somewhere, we'll see them. All right. Because of the woods, we don't need to scan a large distance either side, so this nice narrow cone here is good, means we'll scan pretty quickly. Now, since we only want one particular unit to take this route, we need to tell the software how to do that. So if we highlight the route and then do a right click on it, you'll see that there's a choice here that says embark if. Let's go ahead and select that. And you'll notice here that the first box is green, which means that you have to have one condition, so this is the one that we're going to set. And we essentially want to make sure that only a single unit takes this route. So we're going to use this third radio button here that says this unit is unit, and then by left clicking we can work our way through the list of units till we get to 6 alpha. Okay, so embark on route if this unit is 6 alpha. So any other unit is going to pass this by. 6 alpha is going to detour and take this route. So we'll say OK. Now if you click off the route just to get rid of the purple highlight, you'll notice that the route is now dashed. A dashed line indicates that the route is conditional. All right, probably the thing to do now, and I'll leave it to you as an exercise, is to test the scenario as it exists. Again, not a lot is going to happen here, but basically, everybody should work their way up to waypoint 4, except for 6 alpha, who should work himself up to waypoint 5 here. And now your waypoint numbers may vary. Don't worry about that. It's not important. As long as 6 alpha gets to this position, we're fine. All right, so I think I'm going to call it there for this scenario. And once we come back for the next one, we're going to talk about what happens after we get to waypoint 4 here. So we're going to have a bunch of units piled up here. What are we going to do with them? So that'll be episode 8. And I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.